Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to make spaghetti squash with mushroom and spinach Alfredo sauce. I have not had spaghetti squash in forever and I forgot how much I loved it. Here you can see me struggling trying to cut this thing open. Let me tell you, that rind is tough. So my spaghetti squash is small just because there's just going to feed 2 people. So after you cut it in half, you're going to remove the seeds. And then I put a little olive oil, salt and pepper, and then some roasted garlic McCormick seasoning. But of course you can add any seasonings that you like. You want to roast those in the oven with the flesh side down. Mine only took about 20 minutes on 375, but of course it will depend on the size you have. So now I'll go ahead and get my mushrooms chopped up and my onions for my Alfredo sauce. So for Alfredo sauce, I am going to add onions, mushroom, and spinach. So I'm going to head and add the onions and the mushrooms so they can get soft and tender. And then I will add my spinach in last. So I just put a little bit of butter in my pan. And to the onions and mushrooms, I'm going to add some salt and pepper to taste. Then I'm going to let these saute for about 5 minutes to get tender. Now that our onions and mushrooms are almost tender, I'm going to add in a little bit of garlic paste. Of course, you can use fresh garlic or garlic powder, just whatever you have on hand. And add however much you like. I'm going to add, I don't know, that's probably 1 clove worth, I would imagine. Got the garlic paste mixed in. I'm going to go ahead and add my spinach. And let that wilt down a little bit, not too much. And then I'm going to remove all of this stuff from the pan, and then I'm going to start making the sauce, the white sauce for the Alfredo. Of course, you could probably just make it all together in the pan, but I think you would have a lot of extra lumps. So I'm just going to take everything out and place it on a plate and let it sit to the side. And then once I get the gravy or the white sauce, whatever you want to call it, complete, I will just add it back in together and let everything mix together. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of butter or 4 tablespoons of butter and let it get melted. And then once the butter is melted, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of flour, just all-purpose flour. You could use self-rising if that's all you have on hand. I will add that to it. And it'll form a paste, or some like to call it a roux, whichever you call it. And then we'll add in our milk. I'm going to be using my oat milk. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of sour cream to it, just to give it a little bit more creaminess. And there's your flour. You just want your flour to cook just for a few minutes so you don't have that raw flour taste. And then you add your milk. I'm not for sure exactly how much milk I'm going to use. I'll try to measure it out so I can let you know. It depends on how thick and thin you like your Alfredo sauce. Of course, if you get it too thin, you can always add cheese. So I'm just going to reuse this measuring cup. So there's 1/4. a half, 3/4, and a cup. So let's start with a cup of milk, which I think it's going to be about 2 cups is what we'll need. And start mixing that together. You can use a whisk, or my favorite thing to use on gravies is a wooden spoon. I think it's my favorite utensil in the kitchen. I'm going to also go ahead and add some salt and pepper. You want to try to season every level of your dish, whatever you're cooking. And that's starting to thicken up. So I'm going to go ahead and add another cup of milk. So that is 2 cups of milk total, and I think that is going to be the perfect amount, which we just have a very small spaghetti squash just for 2 people. And this is like going to be what we're going to have for lunch today. So you want to go ahead and let your gravy cook and bring to a boil so it can thicken. Okay, so it's starting to thicken up some. As you can see, a little bit of separation. So if you can have cheese, you know, this is where you would add your mozzarella, Monterey Jack, Parmesan, just whatever. I'm just going to add at the end a little bit of this vegan Parmesan that I have. And then on Jason's dish, he'll have like some real Parmesan added to the top of his, of course. So our gravy is thickening up, or sauce, I call it a gravy. That's what we call it here in Eastern Kentucky. Everything like this is a gravy. So as you can see, it is thickening up super nice. So I'm going to go ahead and add a dollop of my tofu dairy-free sour cream. I love this stuff. So I'm going to add that. And let me shake this up a little bit. Add that and some Parmesan. It smells really good. Get all those clumps of cheese worked out. And then I'm going to give this a quick taste just to see if it needs any more salt or pepper. Just from the looks of it, you know, with the white sauce, we like a lot of black pepper. So let me give that a quick taste and see where I am. Hopefully I will not burn the lips off or the hair off my tongue. Okay, that's really good. I am going to add some more salt and pepper and a little bit more of that vegan Parmesan cheese. I'm going to give all this a mix, and then I'm going to add my mushrooms, onions, and spinach back in. And then I'm going to shred. I'm not sure what the word is that I'm looking for, but I'm going to get my spaghetti squash ready and then get that added in as well. So now I'm going to get my spaghetti squash. It's still pretty warm, but I think I can handle it now. I'm not for sure if I want to go ahead and add this to it or if I want to just put it underneath like noodles. So, whew, it's still a little warm. So now you just go ahead and think that's the coolest thing ever. I don't know. I just think that is just the neatest thing. I've got my spaghetti squash here, and this one was so small it only took like 20-25 minutes on 375. So I think I'm just going to put this on the bottom of the dish and then layer the Alfredo sauce on top of it. Okay, so I got our spaghetti squash on a plate. I think we're just going to share a plate, and he'll just put real Parmesan on half of his. We tried it just like this. It's been so long since I've had spaghetti squash, and I forgot how good it is and how much we like it. I could just eat it like this. And there we have it, folks. I think I made a little bit too much sauce for the amount of spaghetti squash because I didn't know exactly how much I would get out of that little one. We can always use it for pasta or for something else. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and let me know in the comments if you make it and if you liked it. Hey guys, so I've never made this before, and I kind of just made this dish up on the fly. So here's going to be a first impressions. Wow, I'm all over the place with the camera. First impressions taste test. That is really, really good. I cannot believe that this is dairy-free, vegan, and there's no pasta in it. So good. So with the leftover Alfredo sauce, I cooked up some egg noodles to go with it because that Alfredo sauce was so good and we did not want it to waste. So this is something else that you can do with that Alfredo sauce if you don't want to use baked spaghetti squash. Just cook some egg noodles or pasta up with it, and it's so delicious. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration from it.